is spleen 6, and it's located 3 soon proximal to the tip of the medial malleolus. The medial malleolus is the very prominent bump on the ankle, and you want to find the top of the mountain, the part that sticks out the most. You're going to go approximately 3 soon, proximally. So you put the edge of your pinky on the top of the malleolus, and you're going to land somewhere at the edge of your finger. This is just an approximate measurement, and we've already compared our hands to your client's hands. So we know that my client's hand's about the same size as mine. If her hand was a lot smaller, I would just guesstimate accordingly, and if her hand was a lot bigger, I would guesstimate accordingly. This first measurement is just an estimate, and you want to do it as quickly as possible. I'm really slowing it down to explain it, but in real practice, you would just quickly go like that, and then actually feel for the point, and it would be that fast, so that it's not detracting from the massage, that you can basically do it without the client even noticing that you're measuring, and then all of a sudden you're just using pressure. So that's kind of real speed. But you can take as long as you want to find it at first, as you're learning how to find it. So you find the tip of the malleolus, go to the edge of your fingers. That's your approximate measurement as far as distally to proximally. Then you want to be immediately behind the bone, right behind the shaft of the tibia, tucked in. And then when you have your approximate location, it's like your approximate coordinations, your coordinates this way and this way. That's your approximate location, but you always want to palpate where the point is for real. There's a variation on everybody from body to body of where the point actually exists, and you can actually feel all of the points. So now I know what line it exists in this direction, and I'm going to slide up and down. What I like to do is start off really superficially, and then as I slide a little bit deeper and deeper. Because if you're at just the right depth, you will find a depression as you do that. If you're too superficial, you won't find that depression, and if you're too deep, you won't find that depression. There's a big, very soft depression here, but when I recheck my measurement, that's way too far up. So this would be the next point up the line. So you don't want to just go into the biggest depression in the neighborhood. You might find a different point. So there's a very obvious depression there, but that is way too far upstream. So I want to recheck for a depression closer. And generally, basically, the points on the body that need treatment more are going to feel more different than the tissue around it. So some of them are going to feel like softer depression, some of them are going to feel more tender, some of them are going to feel more like knots. But the ones that do feel soft and tender or knotty, those are the ones that need treatment more. So on our client today, this point needs treatment more than spleen 6, because spleen 6 isn't out of balance as much, it's more subtle. This one is like a big soft spleen 9. Or, yeah, that one's feeling like spleen 9. So that was the one we would focus on more. But as I hang out in the general right neighborhood, I can invite the chi to the area, I can explore the area at different depths. I feel that indeed there is a soft depression right here. When in doubt, you can check the relationship about points that are easier to feel. So we found spleen 9 was quite easy to feel, and we found a point right above it that was quite easy to feel. So we could see if there's a relationship to these points, but I'm going to warn you, if you find points in this neighborhood, there's 3 different yin meridians in the neighborhood, so those are not as good of a points to check the relationship with, because they might actually be kidney or liver. So, but if you go way up to spleen 9, that one's very obvious, and you won't get confused by kidney or liver. So we're going to go up to spleen 9, And we're going to feel this point we think is spleen 6. And see if it seems like the points relate. You can do some hara breathing, or whatever way you can connect with feeling the points. Sometimes you'll feel a therapeutic pulse between the 2 points. And sometimes the easiest way to feel if there's a relationship between these 2 points is to actually get off of the point and feel if there's less of a relationship. So right now, I'm dead on, but I might be a little confused. Is that a relationship? I don't really know. I don't know what I'm feeling. So I slide off of the point. No, that's completely unrelated to this point. My 2 fingers are not saying anything. They're not talking to the same relationship. But as I slide over, it's almost like one of those silly little magnet finder kind of machines or something, as you're like going over, and as it gets closer, it's like beep, 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 beep. And it's like, yeah, that's the right point. So again, I can be off of the point, and there's no relationship between these 2 fingers, what they're palpating. But as I slide back behind it, nope, definitely no relationship. It's getting warmer, it's getting warmer, warmer, warmer. These points are definitely speaking to each other now. And if I patiently held on them for a little while and just breathe, I would actually feel a therapeutic pulse that would begin to happen between the 2 points. For some of you, this is going to be easier to do with your fingers and sliding off of the point and then sliding on the point. And for some of you, this is going to be easier with tuning forks. Go ahead and give either a try and see which makes more sense to you, and whether you're going to be feeling for a therapeutic pulse, a physical sensation, or an energetic sensation. Oops. So for some of you, it's going to be an energetic thing that you can feel. Some of you will feel a physical thing. Some of you will just have to learn to trust your intuition. And any of those work just as well. Just each of you is going to have a different approach that works best. Actually, with the forks, I can tell that just a tiny few millimeters this way would be right dead center. And similar to MFR, as the points actually do their thing, some of you might even notice releases or changes in your own body. Like as there are releases, you might feel heat or even sweating, even though this is virtually completely effortless. I'm not using much pressure at all, but I can tell there's a release and I can feel the heat. And that's a wrap.